Today, I get to talk about some issues I have with Pep Guardiola, mostly about how he's dealing with his current Man City situation and some of the managerial choices at City over the past couple of years. It sounds crazy to criticize arguably the greatest manager of all time during a rare bad spell, but it has to be done. First, I just want to talk about the squad overall and the squad building over the past couple of seasons. If I'm being honest, a lot of it has been terrible, and we're seeing it right now. Some of the squad is simply too old and the wrong players have been bought, which is not only on Pep but the entire City board. I think bringing Gundogan back on a free was a shockingly bad decision. Look, Gundogan was a great player for City, but after he left, City needed to move on. You can't sit there all day and say, well, he was a free transfer. It doesn't matter that he was free. Just because he's free doesn't mean it's the right transfer to make. He was never physically gifted, and now it looks like he's lost one of his legs. Instead of bringing in a new midfielder, an old one was brought back for no reason. Also, I think signing Kovacic was not a great transfer either. He hasn't been terrible for City, but he's not really a player they need, and he wasn't a great replacement for Gundogan last season. He's a terrible final third player, and he lacks that extra quality to be a top player for City. Then the Mateus Nunes signing has got to be one of the worst in the Pep era. I think Mateus Nunes is a great player, but he is the exact opposite of what you need in a City midfielder. He doesn't have a spot in the team at all, which is quite sad because I think he'd be a great player for a team that plays on transition. This brings me into the recent winger signings, Jeremy Doku and Savinho. Look, both of these guys are talented players, but they are currently not the game changers City need. Pep has relied on midfielders to play on the wings for the past few seasons now, and I think that has hurt him in the long run. Grealish, Foden, and Bernardo Silva are all natural midfielders who have played on the wing for Pep, and they have done well. They've done well to cycle the ball and help keep possession style football strong and stable at Man City. They've won a Champions League title and Premier League titles while rotating midfielders on the wing for the most part. However, they've gotten too comfortable with this tactical decision. None of these guys are natural wingers, which means that they lack that dribbling threat that top wingers usually possess. I think Pep has realized this and decided to bring in two real 1v1 specialists, Doku and Savinho. However, they don't offer any consistent goal threat. Most of the goal threat in recent years has come from De Bruyne, Haaland, and Foden when he's played centrally. De Bruyne is aging, Foden is injured, and Haaland hasn't been scoring consistently. So who exactly can they rely on to be that consistent goal threat? Again, they got comfortable having low goal threat players on the wing because other players could make up for it. The wingers like Grealish and Bernardo played in a way that got the best out of the goal threats. However, Savinho and Doku are completely different players. They don't have that playmaking IQ or ball retention ability, so the front line is way more unstable. They don't have the ability to step up and score or assist either. I think they are good signings, but these types of signings should have been made sooner or more developed players should have been bought. Now they don't have any wingers who are consistently playing at the top level. All of them offer no goal threat, and there is no goal threat to create for aside from Haaland. Next, let's move on to some of Pep's lineup choices. At the time of me creating this video, City have only won one of their last 10 games. This is relegation form, and a lot of it is down to the team selection. I know City have had some injuries to key players, however, the choices made with the players that are available are not great. Also, I'm sick and tired of hearing that Rodri being missing is the main reason City are losing. It's not. This is another City transfer issue. Instead of buying a capable backup for Rodri, City bought Calvin Phillips, who is currently on loan at Ipswich Town. It's easy to sit here and say that Rodri is the reason they're losing when they don't have anyone else to play his position. That's Pep's fault. There's only one holding mid at the club. Obviously, when the only holding mid at the club gets injured, the team will play worse. There is no replacement. Yes, Rodri is the best in the world, but they simply don't have anyone else to do his job. Now let's take a look at City's lineup in their embarrassing 4-0 loss against Tottenham. City's starting midfield was Rico Lewis and Gundogan. They got absolutely ran through during this game. They are both weak and not the quickest. They didn't stand a chance in this midfield battle. Then ahead of them was Bernardo, Foden, and Savinho rotating around. They were all so poor. Savinho was coming through the middle a lot, and they were all so compact, and City didn't have any options on the left during this game. Gvardiol was basically playing left wing. City actually started this game quite well. Foden and Haaland each missed some chances that they really needed to put away, but then the defensive collapse started. I've known this for a while. A lot of the City defenders can't actually defend that well. You don't see it that often because they keep the ball so much, but they always get found out on transition. They made silly mistakes in this game that led to goals, and they were all over the place, especially Kyle Walker. Honestly, it's just sad to see at this point. He is tragically bad. He can't do anything. Saudi isn't even an option for this guy. He just has to hang up the boots. He's a liability. Now let's take a look at City's lineup against Nottingham Forest, who they beat 3-0, which is their only win in 10 games. I really like this lineup. I thought they were pretty good this game. They got caught on transition a bit, but they still kept the clean sheet. And the main reason this worked was because of the midfield partnership between Grealish and Kevin De Bruyne. Until City have all their players back, Grealish and De Bruyne have to start in midfield together. I know it says Bernardo played in midfield, but it was actually Grealish. I thought him and De Bruyne were superb. Grealish brought that energy and ball carrying ability that they were missing. I think it's really sad how Grealish has been at the club for 3.5 years, and it took Pep that long to play him in his natural position. This is really the only way to get the best out of him, and then hopefully the team as well. Then in the next match against Crystal Palace, Pep changes everything up and they put in a shockingly bad performance. I know he has to rotate them because of injuries, but it was so obvious that they weren't going to perform well. Lastly, I just want to talk about Pep's stubbornness to play young players right now. It amazes me. City are crying out for energy and quality in midfield, and he has James McAtee rotting on the bench. This kid is a very talented player, and it looks like he's never going to get a chance at City. He's exactly what they need, but for some reason, Pep doesn't want to put him in. I don't get it. At least start him on one of the wings. He has to get this kid into the team. It's the perfect opportunity for him to show his quality. That'll be it for today's video. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Put your thoughts in the comments down below. I usually respond to each one. Thanks for watching.